What is up, everyone? Tom the Dilettante here, and welcome to another episode of Comments and Libations, where I take about 10 minutes to read through your comments, address any questions, all while having a drink. And now today's drink is going to be another version of an old-fashioned recipe I found online. This one, I got a little lazy. I used some simple syrup that I got from Binny's, along with some Augustino bitters, I think that's how you call it, some resilient whiskey, an orange peel, or whatever bartenders call it, and a maraschino cherry. That's good. First question by Icarian R. I will never understand why these radios have alarm modes. I feel like it's a waste of space that could be used for other features. Totally agree. A lot of the GMRS or MERS radios that are out there have this stupid ass alarm mode. It's something I've never used before myself, but it is something I've accidentally pressed the button for and scared the crap out of myself. How about you? Has any of you ever used that alarm mode? As far as other features, I don't know what else you'd squeeze into there. It's not like the button takes up a whole lot of space, but I do agree it is kind of a silly feature. I certainly hope they don't charge us more for it. Next comment from Sko. Thanks for this. This website is horrendous. This was on how to get your GMRS license. You are absolutely welcome. A lot of folks have chimed in with their gratitude on this video, and I'm grateful for your gratitude because I too found navigating this site to be a real pain in the butt. The user interface on this site is your tax dollars at work, and whoever designed this thing should be drug out into the street, beaten with a stop sign, and left bleeding in the moonlight. The GMRS license is now $35, and I do highly recommend you get one if you're interested in radio. Do please use that video to your heart's content, and hopefully it'll help you navigate that site and save you a lot of frustration. Next one by Tinkerer's Adventure. Glad to see it was a simple fix. More points to the Chinese diesel heater. For those of you who have not checked out this guy's channel, Tinkerer's Adventure, I highly recommend you do so. He's really good at explaining things with a lot of detail, a lot of visuals, and in plain English, but also smart enough that it appeals to the nerds like me. He just seems like the kind of dude that I would enjoy having one of these old fashions with. Anyway, I first got into his videos when he did a really great series on how the independent front suspensions on Toyotas work, such as the FJs or things like my GX470. Regarding this diesel heater fix, yeah, I was super impressed with how easy it was to fix. The parts were nice and cheap. It was truly plug and play. Had I not been filming it, I probably could have accomplished the entire task in about 5 minutes. Funny enough, even though changing that fuel pump did the trick, what you see before you is that same diesel heater. I had decided to take it apart and see how gunked up one gets after 3 seasons of runtime. Spoiler alert, not much at all. I was actually super impressed with how clean the inside of this thing was after running it for 3 winters. Now, check out that video. It'll probably drop within the next couple of weeks, assuming that I can put this thing back together and get it running again. If not, I'll still drop a video on it and show you how to disassemble it, and hopefully you can take from it what not to do. Next comment from Michael Mansion. Stop adding music, so annoyed. Well, I'm sorry you're annoyed, Michael. Users tend to be a little mixed on that one. I personally like music. I do understand that having too much music underneath dialogue can be a pain in the ass. Maybe the music underneath this dialogue is too big of a pain in the ass, but I digress. I actually did a poll on this one. I asked people, background music in videos. I dig it, don't really care one way or the other, or please knock that shit off. About 38% said knock that shit off. The rest were either I dig it or don't really care one way or the other. So I will follow the masses. I'll continue including music in there. I will be conscious of the fact though that I don't want those levels too high when I'm doing dialogue, and sometimes I'll just try to kick it out. To be honest, this whole creator gig is just a hobby of mine, and I'm still experimenting trying to find my style. Next comment by Logan Poston. A long one. What is your main job? What do you do for work? You said in a previous video that you would tell us, but I haven't seen it. As someone who watches every video and looks forward to it, thank you. Even as far as watching twice, thank you again. I might be addicted to your videos. Tell us what is holding you back from making videos besides uploading the best content you can with what you have. I'm sure coming up with new ideas is difficult, but your job must also hold you back. Keep up the good work. Logan, I'm extremely flattered, and thank you very much. I will endeavor to continue doing good work. To answer your question, what do I do for a job? Well, as you know, I used to be in the Marine Corps, got out, went to school in the GI Bill and the Illinois Veterans Grant, went into consulting. My primary groups were within the pharmaceutical sector, went over and was hired within the pharmaceutical sector. I'm one of those dorks that do analytics, business intelligence, things with data. I'm one of those crayon eaters that can do math. Anyway, right now I have actually started my own consulting gig, so I have my own LLC, brand new for this year, and I've started working independently. What's holding me back? Well, the same thing that's holding us all back, Logan. Whatever bullshit excuse we've convinced ourselves is true that holds us away from our goals. For me, that's not enough time in the day, and spreading my focus a little bit too thin sometimes. And honestly, right now I'm just kind of investing in myself. However, part of that self-investment is to continue making content. I want to continue getting better at it. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to try to do some e-learning and some tutorials and some training, leveraging the skills that I've learned while making YouTube videos and incorporating that into my professional life. We'll see. Next comment by Greg DeRosier. Silly waste of time. That was in the What's in Your Pockets video. What do you mean, Greg? Are you referring to making videos, showing people what's in my pocket, or randomly trolling some stranger's comment section? If the latter, I agree. Next one by S9 Josh. FYI, that clip on the electrical connector is not a clip, it's a button. Just press it down and pull the connector apart. No need to remove it. That was on the diesel heater repair with the fuel pump. Thank you, S9 Josh. I did not know that. After I saw your comment, I tried that, and you're right, it does in fact work. So, who knew? Well, you knew, I didn't know. So one of the things that I love about reading the comments on the videos that I make is that I learn a shit ton of stuff. You guys are awesome, keep it up. Next by Matthew Gross. My AeroPress travels with me all the time. This was on the making a perfect cup of coffee on the go. Something I'm continuing to experiment with, by the way. But yeah, you know, that AeroPress is super impressive. I've heard other people tell me about it and they seem to love it. Picked myself up one and I can see why you love it. Brought it with me on my last trip out west to Vegas, made some coffee on the fly. It's pretty kick-ass. If you don't have one, check out that video, check out other people's videos, decide for yourself. I think you're gonna want one. Next from James S. I'm still looking for my 10mm socket. If anyone's seen them, please let me know. You know, I swear to God, I've opened up my hood before and found like a 10mm socket sitting in the rain channel, apparently because I had set it up there before. And of course, I've since bought 2 or 3 more, but yeah, they do tend to fall out of nowhere, don't they? I probably have about 2 or 3 10mm sockets in various shapes and sizes, whether it's short, deep, 1/4 inch, 3/8, because yeah, you can never have enough. Next one by Mighty Quinn, VR Realm. Great video, beautiful trail. So glad I went with a manual on my cross trek. That was when I took the cross trek through Devil's Canyon in Colorado. That was a really cool trail. The part that I showed was actually only the first part. I had tried to do the rest of it going around the back with my cousin in a Tacoma and my best friend in a Land Cruiser, and I almost got stuck. I certainly could have used a manual transmission then, would have helped put some power to the ground. As a matter of fact, it was on that trail where I ended up flattening my tire because I took a turn too tight, didn't see a sharp rock that jumped out at me, and poof.
There goes a tire.
Ended up changing the tire as sun was setting. Next one by Central Florida GMRS. That sounds official. We are using it for our community. We had to explain it so people would understand how it worked. Many were on board because we provide the go-to base station during hurricanes, etc. Not everyone wants to give out a phone number to stay in contact with the community here. That was on the 5 things you need to know about GMRS radio. That's really cool to hear there, Central Florida GMRS. I love hearing stories about communities or groups of people using comms like GMRS in order to maintain communications however you do it, especially during some kind of emergency when traditional infrastructure, cell towers and whatnot might be compromised. Hopefully that's been working out well for you. I can only imagine how terrifying it must be to lose all your comms during a hurricane and then try to keep in touch with folks. But yeah, awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing that. Next one by Jim Clark. Thank you for this video. I followed this step by step and now have my FRN and call sign. Congratulations, Jay. That's great. If you're referring to your GMRS call sign, awesome first step. If you've gotten the bug now for radio, your same FRN will work if you aspire to get your amateur radio license. So check that out. Maybe you can get your technician license as well. Next one by 741. Regarding your statement about diversity of topics at around 1310, I'm fairly new to your channel, but appreciate and enjoy the diversity of topics you are sharing with us. Thank you for sharing your projects and interests. That was from my last comments in Libations. Well, November anyway. Thank you, 741. I'm glad someone appreciates the diversity. I've had a couple people chime in that they enjoy that as well. And I appreciate that. You all must be the same kind of people that I would enjoy hanging around a campfire and enjoying one of these with, because my interests vary, and I love talking to people whose interests vary as well. Next one from Steve Edward on the Bluetti EB3A. Can you solar charge it and use it at the same time? Yes, you can. While it's charging, you can absolutely use it. That has been true for every single one of these units that I've had, whether it's the Bluetti EB3A, the Bluetti 55, the Jackery ones, so you can charge it and use it simultaneously. Next by Reboot a Dude for the Bluetti EB55. Great review, but also a bit annoying for 2 reasons. First, I now hate my display, you're so right. Second, I spent most of the 16 minutes trying to figure out what actor you remind me of. Ugh. Well, I guess thank you for the compliments on the review. Yes, the display on the EB55 is truly annoying, especially after you take a look at the newer ones like the EB3A. And as far as what actor I remind you of, hey, let me know in the comments, anyone watching. I've been told most that I resemble a young Orson Welles. I don't see it, but who knows. Next, by Harry Wernsman on the Chinese diesel heater. Is it just me, or does having the fuel reservoir sitting directly on top of the actual heating element make anyone else uncomfortable? A whole lot of things could go wrong with that idea. Well, yeah, I get that. I can see why you'd say that. But then again, I also drive motorcycles. There you have your fuel tank sitting on top of your heating element or engine. And furthermore, you're putting your junk right on top of it. So as far as throwing caution to the wind goes, I guess this is just acceptable to me. Next, from Jeffrey on the 12-volt panel install on the Crosstrek. You're fearless. Thanks, Jeffrey. I don't know about fearless. Sometimes I think I'm probably just stupid. A sense of adventure, I'll put it that way. I like to get things done, and I just didn't have any qualms with cutting holes in my brand new car. The first one for me too. I've always bought used cars. That Crosstrek was the first new vehicle that I ever purchased. But has anyone ever bought a completely stock vehicle that checked all of the boxes that they wanted? I'm willing to bet no. So, hey, customize away. Anyway, I think that's time for this episode of Comments and Libations. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like me to address one of your comments, well, start leaving them, and hopefully it'll pop up in a future episode. Until the next time, have a great drink, have a wonderful time, keep on tinkering, and keep on learning. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.